I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. A sanitation worker was struck and killed earlier today in a hit-and-run incident in the village of Kiryas Joel. It happened at around noon along Satmar Drive when the village sanitation department employee left his truck and started to cross the street. He was hit by an oncoming car that then sped off. The victim has been identified as Anastasio Vasquez of Spring Valley. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A white minivan was seen leaving the area after the crash. Anyone with information about the fatal hit-and-run accident is asked to call state police at 782-8311. More charges, including criminal possession of a weapon, will soon be filed against Gosford Lembhard Jr., the 26-year-old City of Newburgh man who was being served with an arrest warrant for an attempted murder charge when he refused to surrender and held police at bay for 10 hours while barricaded inside a Liberty Street apartment last Wednesday. The crisis ended when Lembhard bolted out a window, struggled with police, and was taken into custody after getting tasered. Today, Newberg City Police Chief Michael Ferrara confirmed that additional charges will be filed and that Lembhard was armed when he tried to escape.
The suspect jumped out the window. He did have a handgun with him. It was an unloaded .45 caliber automatic handgun. We had information prior to the incident that he had the handgun with him in the house, and that's one of the reasons why the incident was approached the way it was. The U.S. Marshals were the first ones at the door that morning, but when he locked himself inside, that's when the SWAT team had to be informed, because it was a delicate situation right from the beginning, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt.
Following the tense standoff, police were praised for their restraint. Ferrara says that helped prevent a bad situation from getting worse.
They showed their professionalism, expertise, and training, and how it has paid off. And that's very important. It's very important that we're trained for these type of situations, and these are above and beyond the normal course of police work.
Chief Ferrara said he was not sure when the additional charges would be filed, since law enforcement agencies are continuing to sort out the details of the incident. Lembhard continues to be held on $500,000 cash bail or $1 million bond. Sullivan County Sheriff Michael Schiff says deputies with his department now have in custody a man they believe has been a major heroin supplier in the Liberty, Fallsburg, and Monticello areas. 24-year-old Anthony Aubain of Liberty was arrested Monday on felony sale and possession charges. Deputies say at the time of his arrest, they found 34 bags of heroin and an undisclosed amount of cash in his car. A passenger in his vehicle, 25-year-old Linval Pringle, faces felony drug sale charges. Unlike the county's last big heroin bust in October, the seized heroin packets did not have a brand name stamped on them. Schiff says that's because dealers have become concerned that they could face some manslaughter charges if someone overdoses and dies from the heroin if it's traced back to them. The October bust involved heroin with the brand name Last Dragon stamped on it. That brand is being investigated for a possible link to several drug overdose deaths in Sullivan County. It's an early Christmas present for the Middletown School District. The U.S. Department of Education announced today that Middletown has won $20 million in grant money from the National Race to the Top School District competition that awards innovation in education. Middletown was the only district in the state to win money, one of only 16 winners nationwide. Middletown School Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Eastwood says, among other things, the grant funding will be used for additional staff, training, and technology software to track a student's individual learning style in order to teach them more effectively. The mega deals could be okayed next week by a bankruptcy court judge. The deals to sell off the 2 Dynegy power plants in the town of Newberg. In separate agreements, Dynegy agreed to sell its Roseton natural gas facility to Lewis Dreyfus Highbridge Energy for $19.5 million. Dynegy's Danskammer coal-fired plant, which was shut down after sustaining flood damage during Hurricane Sandy, will be sold to ICS Holdings for $3.5 million, then demolished. The firm will be responsible for all taxes on the site that could come due next year. While Dynegy will pay all overdue taxes, the Roseton buyer will pay the outstanding taxes on that property. Dynegy currently owes about $24 million in unpaid taxes to the town of Newberg, Orange County, and the Marlborough School District. The permanent shutdown and demolition of the Dan Scammer plant will reportedly result in the loss of roughly 70 jobs. Neighbors opposed to the construction of a natural gas compression station in the town of Minnesink say they will take their case to a federal court of appeals now that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has denied their request for a rehearing of arguments against the $43 million Millennium Pipeline project. Residents living near the Jacobs Road site say the compressor station will harm the environment and lower property values and does not belong in their rural neighborhood. Company officials hope to have the station completed by next spring. Residents will ask the federal court to halt the project and order deconstruction of the work that began in October. A Bloomingburg teenager was sent to Sullivan County Jail without bail following his arrest on a felony grand larceny charge. 17-year-old Cody Jennings is accused of stealing a pistol from a residence on Winterton Road in Bloomingburg September 15th. Jennings was additionally charged with criminal possession of a weapon and criminal mischief. State police say during the incident, Jennings caused damage to the interior of the residence. And those involved in the Arlington project made a stop in Ulster County earlier today. The Wreaths Across America caravan pulled into the Spring Lake Fire Station in the town of Ulster, en route to Arlington National Cemetery. Inside the trucks are thousands of holiday wreaths that were donated or purchased that will be placed at the cemetery grave sites of our fallen heroes in Arlington, Virginia this Saturday. The escort to Arlington motorcade featuring veterans and other volunteers began in Maine last Saturday, the birthplace of the Arlington Project. Today, a public ceremony honoring the Wreaths Across America project was held at the Spring Lake Firehouse. You may be dealing with sun glare as you head off to work tomorrow morning. Wednesday will be mostly sunny and on the cool side, with temperatures reaching the low to mid 40s. That is pretty much the same story for Thursday, with the highs in the 40 to 45 degree range under a mostly sunny sky. You'll stay on top of what's happening when you begin your day with the Times Herald Record, and anywhere and anytime news breaks, you will find it right here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.